Hey everybody, my name is MundaneMatt, and you know, it's always fun to talk about video games. It truly is. It's even more fun to talk about the video game industry and the bullshit that permeates within it, right? It's always a blast. Don't you just love it? For how many times articles are written on Rock, Paper, Shotgun, Kotaku, any of those other sites, Destructoid, any of these other places that decry sexism in gaming and always tend to focus on the victiming of women who are in the spectrum of being games developers, we oftentimes have this disconnect of them as people, and we tend to put them on pedestals in one form or another. This has happened with Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn of Depression Quest fame. And so it's interesting when something comes out that is so damaging, so destructing, and so funny, in essence, that you just kind of have to talk about it. And what I'm talking about is a blog on WordPress called The Zoe Post, which will be linked in the low bar. And it was posted today by Eron Gjoni, I think his name is. It's written on the screen. I'm not sure if I pronounced it correctly. But Eron used to date Zoe. And as the title of this video is, Hell Hath No Fury Like a Lover's Scorn. What he did is he documented and chronicled her infidelity against him and put together probably about a 5,000 word post about the entire event, complete with screenshots, and I mean like buttloads of conversations from Facebook to GChat to text messages, tons and tons and tons of info. It's a lot to digest. It's a lot to look at. But to summarize it, he left us a very handy, too long, didn't read version, which is what I'm going to recite to you now. We're going to go through it, then we're going to talk about it. Alright, he says, I dated Zoe Quinn. I thought she was the most amazing, kind-hearted person in the world. Turns out she was bullshitting pretty much everything I fell in love with her for, and is actually an unbelievable jerk. She effortlessly lied to and manipulated for months, simply because it was not believable that someone could be that selfish as a person, that convincing of a liar, and that good of a manipulator. While adamantly arguing the very principles she espoused, here are some of the things she did, /does in no particular order or tense, which you can verify using the chat log images in the footer of Act 1. And there are quite a number of those chat log images. Like I said, they're a good read. You're going to look at probably about 10 minutes per one, just to read it and to understand the context. So yeah, let's get into this here. Number 1, spend quite a bit of time talking about how she would never ever cheat on anyone because that violates sexual consent, all while cheating on me. Number 2, with Nathan Grayson. 3, with Robin Arnott. 4, with Joshua Boggs. Number 5, who is both her boss and married. Number 6, and at least 2 others whose names are censored, and very probably more, but I won't get into why I believe that. 7, as opposed to informing Joshua's wife, primarily freak out about her own career if his wife goes public. 8, do her goddamn hardest to make sure I didn't sleep with anyone but her while we were broken up. Inevitably succeed. Number 9, sleep with a bunch of people while we were broken up, ignoring all the strong principled stances she used to convince me not to. 10, pretend we didn't need to use protection whenever we had sex while we were broken up. 11, or while we were together. 12, basically demand I ostracize my friend who was going through some seriously fucked up shit because that friend had sort of showed a tentative interest in me while we were broken up. 13, have no problem choosing to work for Joshua Boggs after cheating on me with him and after finding out about his wife. 14, spend an hour arguing that she would never lie in a relationship while she was lying about all the things in our relationship. Number 15, stop at pretty much no length to prevent me from finding out the truth. If I had to lose 10 pounds to bouts of panic attacks spent questioning my own sanity for a sleepless week of being ostracized so she could spend that time cheating on me, well, that's unfortunate for me, but the important thing is that I'm not around to make things awkward between her and the flavor of the week. 16, totally make 2 people up to divert suspicion from the fact that she was fucking Nathan. Seriously, she made 2 people up. This probably doesn't deserve its own item list, but like the claim that there were 2 additional people crashing with her was one of the things that made me think I couldn't possibly have been right to worry during the panic attack week, because who the hell would just fabricate people? 17. Later go on to ostracize Nathan for a week simply so she could fuck some other guys. Number 18. Have unprotected sex with me like 12 freaking hours after cheating on me with her boss. Number 19. Express remorse really damn well, really damn often, and only about the specific thing she has been caught doing. Express no remorse about anything she hasn't been caught doing yet. Lie in literally the same breath she is expressing remorse about having lied, which isn't to say her remorse is fake. I can't know if it is or isn't. It sure looks and sounds real enough. It's just to say that her remorse doesn't actually mean anything in terms of our future intent. She'll promise to never do something again in a fit of despair and regret, and then do that thing like an hour later. Number 21, lie a fucking lot. Like, holy shit, how more often can one person possibly lie? At one point, she actually lies about a lie, about a lie, about a lie. It's like liception. I made that part up. Number 22, a bunch of other fucked up things I'm not even going to bother researching the legal ramifications of telling you about. Okay. Number 23, after making a grand show of remorse and expressing a desire to make all of this up to me, go on to ostracize me, because doing the right thing and making it up to me isn't worth the risk that I might go public with any additional admissions if we have to talk things out online. Number 24, be really fucking good at pretending to be worth looking up to. And at the end of it, I still can't stop referring to Zoe Quinn as burgers and fries. If you know the restaurant Five Guys Burger and Fries, that's what he kind of refers to her as. So yeah, this entire thing, it's pretty long. It's pretty long. There's a couple moments in here when you're reading this, and you know, you can see that Aaron is upset. He is projecting. He's very upset over what happened. My favorite line though in this entire thing is friggin' Nathan stupid red pants wearing Kotaku writing Grayson. I couldn't have said that better myself. I really dislike Nathan Grayson as a writer. I feel that he doesn't go to events and then sits back on a soapbox and criticizes those events for being overtly sexist and then boycotting them for that reason while still making money off of ad clicks for writing about how sexist they are. That's kind of how he is. But then again, that kind of sets into part of what the entire SJW aspect of gaming is right now. So, all of this aside, all of this shit aside, what this tells us is there's a lot going on behind the scenes in the indie world of gaming right now. And in essence, it's incestuous. And we have to ask ourselves, based on the information that Aaron provided, how much of Zoe's coverage for Depression Quest lately has been from actual merits, you know, she earned it, or people she was fucking to get it. And I know that's kind of a broad assumption, and he doesn't go outright and say that. He hints at it quite a bit, but it kind of makes sense. Like, she was fucking Nathan Grayson. I decided to Google search Nathan Grayson, Zoe Quinn to see what pops up. He talked about Depression Quest on Rock, Paper, Shotgun and on Kotaku, but only, from what I could tell, only once. It only gave me a search result saying only once. And then the other guys that were implemented in this were ones who, like, developers, like her boss. Now, it really does come down to, I think, those 2 points of she's screwing a reporter and he's covering her work, and they were set to meet up right before Gamer X2 last month in San Francisco, but she delayed it to go be with Aaron's family. And he was wondering about, like, you know, if she didn't tell him that they were in a relationship, because there was this huge thing about, like, they had it on their Facebook page about who could be in a relationship, or who could see that they were in a relationship. Again, it's a very long and complicated post to dissect, but a lot of this boils down to just the quality of person that she is, and how she's represented as a voice for equality in the gaming industry. Considering the fact that her entire mindset is, oh fuck, don't rat me out, please don't rat me out, I don't want to lose my career. He says here, I'm gonna read you this real quick. He says, you've already done damage control on that front with your tweets. I think, if anything, people might think you're stronger for it, she says. And the fuck-ups are my own, but I didn't know that she existed when it happened. She's talking about Jason, Jason's wife. I felt horrible about this for a while, and he can still fire me. The rev share contract isn't in place, and this can fuck over the rest of the team, Eron says. I don't think he would fire you because of something the boyfriend he obsessively goaded you into cheating on did. Implying this is the thing, implying that she didn't cheat on him willfully, which I find to be interesting, but I do want to talk about that here in a second. She responds back with, what if she demands it? What if she goes public? What if she tells the team? Like, this can hurt a lot of people, which is why I wanted fucking more than 5 minutes of getting yelled at and treated like a criminal to just breathe and calm down so I could do it not panicking. Because games as a whole can lose one of its only strong voices for equality because a woman's sexuality at all being public can sink that fucking ship. The harassment would get worse. It's a lot of stuff, just the process. And then he says, I will ask her to consider the consequences. And then she says, ugh, don't tell her to go public. Fuck, just don't put that thought in her head. Jesus fuck. So here you've got a woman who is confronted, not even a woman. Let's remove that aspect, because I don't feel that plays into this, and that's what's going to be brought up quite a bit. You have a partner who cheated on their partner with a married person. The angered party wants to locate the contact information of the married person's spouse and reveal that information to them, and here you've got the cheater saying, please don't, this is going to hurt my career, because this bad things could happen. And that right there kind of gives you the overall mindset of this. If you really read through this entire post, you see that there's a lot of things that happen in order to protect herself. And it's interesting, because one of the things that happens when we discuss games journalisms, indie games, and kind of that disconnect, or that lack of disconnect, we start to see these patterns emerge. And these people are all really close, really good friends. And I've talked about that before too. Kind of like Gone Home had a lot of the early reviews came in from close personal friends of the development team. Same thing kind of happened here with Zoe and Depression Quest. There has been a lot of controversy surrounding the initial media response to Depression Quest becoming going on Steam Greenlight a while back, and that's all documented. I'll link that in the low bar as well. You can take that for how you will, but I think neither here nor there with this. I think it just adds some context to everything, but it doesn't really, I think, push what's going on here. So, because that's all rumor and speculation, and there's no adequate proof. Here you have adequate proof of everything that's been going on. I just find this funny, because indie gaming is an emerging market. Pop stars or stars in that emerging market are coming out in droves, and when people become stars, they become kind of celebrities, they start to project a particular persona. And Zoe's is apparently about equality and all that stuff, and again, that's a good thing. But the way that Eron's portraying it is, he's like, she cares more. She's been lying to 19,000 followers on Twitter because she's not acting for how she is. And even Zoe says in that Facebook chat that, a woman's sexuality at all being public can sink that fucking ship. And it's not about that. It's not about the sexuality. It's about the cheating, about the lying, about the constant. Now, here's what I think is going to happen from this. Because right now, Grayson and everybody else involved has gone Twitter silent. Absolutely Twitter silent. You can read up on it a bit on Twitter, and you'll see that they're not saying a word. No other gaming journalist right now is touching this at all. At all. Right? They're not. They are avoiding it because they want this to pass. Because this is damning information that's going to damage her career. And I'm not saying that it necessarily should. What I want from this is to open up the concept of the discussion that maybe, just maybe, the incestuous nature of the games industry has very much damaging repercussions. Whereas oftentimes these people will decry any kind of dissenting opinion as sexism or harassment. And here you've got people on the inside that are doing these kind of things to each other for whatever purpose. Some might argue for the sake of getting ahead. Others might argue for just pure sexual reasons. But they're happening. And as a result of this, we start seeing some journalistic integrity questions coming up. Are these people, are they genuine in their job? We've talked about Polygon, and are they genuine journalists? I've done a video about that where there's proof so much proof that indicates that no, they're not, that these are just blog posts, that these are talking heads that are trying to commentate on the situation, very similar to what I'm doing. And I'll admit that, but we've gotten to a point now where these discussions, I think, need to be had. Anyway, I will link to this in the low bar. You guys can find out more about it. There's going to be tons of videos coming out about this in the next couple days, so stay tuned, watch those, and let's have a discussion. My name is MundaneMatt, and I'll see you later.